It's just really fun to work with wood.
It's nice to do something that's extremely hands-on, where what you're learning is what you're actually doing in the moment.
Every year we go at the high school on a fall expedition, but this year we decided to do something a little bit different.
Our science teacher and math teacher, John Dieter, spent a sabbatical year in 2004, and he came here during that.
I took a week-long timber framing course here, and I knew that a Shelter Institute had amazing instructors. They were experts in what they do.
Well, my name is Pat Hennon. My wife and I founded the Shelter Institute in 1974, and we've been teaching people ever since how to design and build energy-efficient homes. And this class that we have here this week are from North Haven, and they've come here to cut out their own classroom.
We configured it in such a way that students could create a substantial, real, and identifiable part of the project, not just carving like a couple of the beams, but they're carving an entire building.
So our goal this morning, and we're on a very aggressive schedule to get this timber frame done by Thursday afternoon, which is when we need to get ourselves and the timber frame onto the ferry, is to get them to cut all of the timbers to length by lunchtime.
We don't use power saws in classes, and we don't allow any apprentices to use power saws. Everybody uses hand saws, because if a hand saw goes like this, crooked, you've only got this much of a mistake. But if you take a power saw and go, the entire end of the beam is shot. Since 1974, we've been teaching this particular class 4 times a year, and in all that time, only once did somebody cut a beam too short.
What'd you do then? Cut it again?
Well, he's buried in the back corner.
This expedition and these kind of projects aren't just projects for vocational students, or someone who's been labeled as a problem and can only be doing a certain kind of programming. All of our students are here, and that includes students who will go on to, I'm absolutely certain, will go on to Ivy League schools. So we feel very strongly that all of our students should be doing hands-on work.
When you have a part in building something, you gain this level of respect for it that you could never have. Even just being here for 3 days, I mean, I don't think I'll ever go into a building and look at it the same again.
And so I tell my friends from away, and they're like, oh, you get to do that like at your school, like that's so cool. And I'm really proud to be able to say that I can do that and that my school does support this kind of thing.
Right now we're being asked by our accrediting agency to focus on 21st century skills, and those include things like being able to be a problem solver and to work actively in groups across networks and to be able to be an effective communicator.
The big sort of buzz phrase is 21st century learning skills, and that's exactly what this is.
We were in the classroom for like an hour, and then we came out here and they split us into, I think, 5 groups, and we all were given different tasks to do. Now we're making different types of mortises through all of the beams and the posts.
We're going to have you sign those, so that if you make mistakes for the next 300 years,
300, yeah.
people will know. Your great-grandchildren will come and see that mistake. I think the first thing that they learn in this kind of work is the value of patience. And when they saw those chisels and those saws, they couldn't wait to grab them and just pitch right in. And right away, they saw all kinds of mistakes and roughness, and very quickly learned that slowing down and really thinking about the objective.
Gaius, who's a certified engineer, he took us through the series of load calculations that you need to do to figure out how big the beams need to be so they can withstand the different stresses that are on them.
Shear and weight, wind and live loads and dead loads.
A brilliant exposition on his part of all of the step-by-step calculations that need to go on.
It was pretty complex stuff.
Lita is more of that traditional kind of academic student, and she absolutely loved this experience. She did see that math was involved and design was involved, and elements of that sort of more traditional education came alive for her in a way that she never expected. She's very proud of the cuts on her hand and things like that, because they're evidence that she worked hard.
Yeah.
There you go.
All right.
Man.
That's
going.
Keep it.
Now it's going in.
Go.
Perfect.
everyone who worked there, Pat, Ethan, Blueberry, and Gaius, were just like, here's your tools, have at it. And they showed us what to do, but they weren't like, oh, let me do that, you know?
Students are using tools in there that can, you know, shave the hair off the back of their hands. And they're doing it safely. And Shelter Institute has provided the instruction they need to be able to do that safely. But almost more importantly, the students are being trusted and respected to do the things that they need to do. And that's something that I think in education is more and more rare.
I knew it was going to be hard, but I think just doing this stuff, it makes it fun. Just doing it makes it fun.
I think my favorite part is when we were carving a through mortise, and you just come to the point where you're just all the way through the board, and you get so excited. You spend so much time carving through this 8-inch board, and you're finally through it, which is exciting.
The weakest part of your spine is this part right here. It doesn't have anything else attached to it, the lumbar spine, because it doesn't have a rib cage or anything, or hips or anything attached to it. You want to be straight up and down. You want to lift by going straight up like that. Doing this kind of work pays dividends throughout the school year in terms of how kids feel about their education, how connected they feel with their education. 2, 3. Push 6. Go Hawks!
Good work. Another 6 inches. First spin.
So this building is going to be here in 50 years. And
So maybe my children will be working this.
nice. And you can say to them,
I worked it.
And-
I raised it.
and I
carved it.
That's kind of cool, yeah.
It was done in the right way. So I think that kids here really feel ownership and they feel a part of this building and they understand it.
And it's kind of crazy to like see it all if you like take a step back from it, because you can like be really into what you're doing and not really see what's around you. But then if you take a step back and look at what everyone is doing, you really see how the building's going to come together, and it's crazy. Like it's incredible.
And just look at it. Just look at it. That's such an amazing building. And you know, people come in here and they just go, oh my God, it's so beautiful. I mean, I really did for the first few months I was up, I would just come in and just love to look at the curves. And
It's an awesome experience. Like, words can't describe how awesome it is.
Contact us at Shelter Institute to learn more about bringing this program to your students. We teach at our location or yours, and we'll tailor the program to fit your needs.
Mm-hmm.